Welcome to another edition of Outlook Video, your nationally recognized, award-winning news magazine for the LGBT community. I'm Alice Heimsoth.
And I'm Tom Smith. This month, Gabrielle Antolovich will be interviewing Shay Franco-Clausen, a San Jose native running for San Jose City Council in the next primary election in June.
You know, she's also the first lesbian of color to run for City Council in District 9 as well.
Wow. Kim Lawson covered the San Jose Women's March and will be bringing us the event.
Aejaie Franciscus will be bringing us her interview with Vicky Mattson, co-lead with this year's San Jose Women's March.
And January of every year kicks off the awards season in the film and music industry. The film in this month's review has been generating buzz over the past year and is expected to get nods from the Academy Awards, or the Gay Super Bowl as we like to call it. This film is based on the acclaimed first novel by Andre Aciman, which he wrote in a whirlwind 3 months. When the book was published in early 2007, it was quickly heralded as a modern classic of the literature of first love and praised for its stark eroticism and the deep emotional impact it had on readers.
Oh, wow. Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg and Raymond Donald Hung got press invites to this new film from Sony Pictures Classics, and they will tell us more later in the half hour. But first, San Jose City Council candidate Shay Franco-Clausen.
Welcome to Outlook Video. I'm Gabrielle Antolovich, and if you think politics is getting crazy and wild and you're getting depressed, hone in for a minute. Locally, we have some exciting stuff. We have Shay Franco-Clausen, who is the first lesbian of color who is running for San Jose City Council. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
So what made you want to do that in this environment?
I know it seems a little crazy, but it's about diversity, representation, and implementation. San Jose is one of the largest cities in the nation, and it has a robust varieties of different cultures. And while San Jose City has tried to have a diverse city council, I will be the first lesbian, when elected, to be on the San Jose City Council.
I know, and I've spoken there many a time. I've never seen a queer woman up there yet.
Yet.
Yes,
Very
so
much so,
congratulations
yes.
for making the effort.
Thank you.
So, you know, a lot of gay people are not really that cluey about gay issues.
Yeah.
So what kind of things have you done that makes you LGBTQ aware?
Well, I mean, I live here. And being a lesbian woman, you know, married to a police officer with, you know, 5 children, 3 we had and 2 we took in, we feel it in our community, you know, the discrimination in renting, in schools, and just have, you know, being coaches. We've felt it our entire time that we've lived here. You know, I was raised here, and I can tell you that there wasn't a lot of representation. So, but we have to make change because kids are identifying a lot earlier. And parents, they don't know who to go to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have lived the road of just about every form of discrimination. Mm-hmm. Wow, 5 children?
Yeah.
Oof. So you belong to a couple of organizations that not just give you the fill-in about LGBTQ issues, but also women's issues.
Yeah. So I've sat on San Jose Pride, when it was San Jose Pride, now it's Silicon Valley Pride, ran by some amazing people in the center, and I'm the vice chair of the Santa Clara County Commission on the Status of Women, representing the LGBT community.
Really?
Yeah.
So with the status of women, what are some of the main issues you dealt with there?
Well, when we advocate, it's not a lot, there's no gender lens on it to what LGBT people are facing in the community, like the discrimination or lack of health care, or just representation in some of the policies that protect, you know, transgender children and women. And I think it's so important that I'm there. We work in the jails as well. And even there, I identify that how guards treat, you know, the inmates, because they're more masculine, they don't have that gender lens when they're interacting, and that's what we're there for.
Yeah, that's right.
It's necessary.
And you're also the development director for FACES?
Silicon Valley FACES, yeah, it's been around for about 50 years.
50?
50. Its flagship program is Camp Everytown, and it's really relevant to what's happening now, and the schools really need it because we never talk about how society is impacting children. And so that's what FACES is good for, is teaching students, teachers, police officers how to understand conflict and trauma through experiential learning. So it's really important.
So even though I am excited that I know that my issues will be represented, what happens with minorities quite often, and I don't mean just the fact that you're a person of color, but also LGBTQ, people think you will only represent us and not everyone. How would you overcome that?
Well, you know, I'm someone who lives here, and the unique thing about me being a candidate is that I do have, you know, many lenses. I have heterosexual children. We're multicultural. You know, I'm married to a police officer, but I also live here. And the reason why I'm running is because I feel like not everyone is represented. And I know that I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn and to be able to represent the most vulnerable and the most affluent. And trying to work with those communities. And right now, more than ever, we need to come together. So
absolutely,
I think that's where people think not, but I think the times have changed.
Absolutely, they have. I'm old enough to remember that the women's liberation was anti a lot of things, but the Women's March is more inclusive of everything. And you seem to be a candidate that is inclusive of everything rather than exclusive.
Right. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, I will be marching. I think it's a more of a non-political march, but I think the representation, I hope that there's LGBT people speaking.
Oh, yeah.
You know, on behalf, because this community is comprised of a lot of people that have not felt represented or are brave enough to come out and say or identify their family as LGBT, because it's still not familiar to many people.
You know, the other anomaly is that we have the White House that seems to be pushing everyone out, and we have a San Jose City Council that has a big heart around the community. Even though not all of us are represented, they wish they could.
Right.
And you're the big wish coming true, right?
Right. I hope to represent a different group of people who don't feel like they've been represented. And there's some great city council members, and like Sergio Jimenez is, you know, he's really doing some bold and progressive things that need to be done here. So I look forward to joining him on city council.
That is so fantastic. So thank you so much. We have Shay Franco-Clausen, who is running for city council as an openly queer person of color. Yes. How amazing.
I know, I'm
thank
excited.
You.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Bruce Valanche, and you are watching Outlook Video.
While everyone was out Christmas shopping, Raymond and I were watching a film that has been generating a buzz since its world premiere at last year's Sundance Film Festival. The director of the film provides a kind of languorous, hypnotic meeting of the carnal and the spiritual that is both dreamlike and dazzling.
And after 11 months of buzz while it's screened at film festivals around the world, we finally get to see it. Call Me By Your Name from Sony Pictures Classics is the much-anticipated film adaptation of Andre Aciman's acclaimed novel of the same name and directed by Luca Guadagnino. The film, which is set in 1983, is about a 17-year-old young man, Elio Perlman, spending his summer days with his family at their 17th century North Italian villa.
The Perlmans host a visiting graduate student annually, and this year it's a 24-year-old American Oliver working on his doctorate, and he will be the summer intern assisting Elio's father, a professor specializing in Greco-Roman culture, and mother, a translator. The 17-year-old is not too happy about giving up his bedroom for the new guest during his stay.
Elio speaks English, French, and Italian, transcribes music, reads books, and plays classical music on 2 instruments, thinking he's a sophisticated and cultured intellectual, and looking down on the visiting American as he mocks Oliver's uncouth manner of ending conversations.
Just watch, this is how we'll say goodbye to us when the time comes. Later.
All right, later.
And while playing Bach's Capriccio on the departure of a beloved brother on the piano, Elio can be quite the insufferable know-it-all. When it comes to music, Elio thinks Oliver's head is as thick as his thighs.
That sounds different. Did you change it?
Well, I changed it a little bit.
Why?
I just played it the way Liszt would have played it if he'd altered Bach's version.
Play that again.
Play what again?
The thing you played outside.
Oh, you want me to play the thing I played outside?
Please. I can't believe you changed it again.
Oh, I changed it a little bit.
Yeah, why?
I just played it the way Busoni would have played it if he'd altered Liszt's version.
And what is wrong with Bach, the way Bach would have played Bach's
Bach never
version?
wrote it for the guitar. In fact, we're not even sure Bach wrote it
Forget
at
I
all.
asked.
Eventually, the precocious pubescent lets down his guard.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ah, ciao, Teresa. Oh.
Sammy, vieni.
Sì.
Prego.
Hey, boys. The ship went down in 1827 on the way to Isola de Garda. Gossip has it this statue was a gift from Count Lecky to his lover, Contralto Adelaide Malanotte. There are 4 known sets after the Praxiteles originals. This fellow's at number 3. The Emperor Hadrian had a pair dug up at Tivoli, but one of the more Philistine of the Farnese popes melted them down and had them recast as a particularly voluptuous Venus.
As the relationship between the two grows more physical and emotional, Oliver keeps their affair a secret by telling Elio, "Call me by your name, and I'll call you by mine," which is where the novel gets its name from. With the cathartic scene with Elio's father, the 3 haunting 3 songs by Sufjan Stevens, and the lead actor Timothée Chalamet's acting through the closing credits, Call Me By Your Name will leave an indelible impression of beauty and pain of first love as the house lights go up in the theater. Now, not only raising the sales of peaches across the United States, what do you think of the film?
I really enjoyed the film. Indeed, it is about, it's not the typical coming of age and coming out type of film. It gets more into that emotional and spirituality that we spoke about earlier, especially when the father says to his son that we are only given our bodies once. And he's meaning that you have one time to go through this. So do the best that you can with this. And he's very encouraging to his young son when he's experiencing the suffering of the separation between himself and Oliver. He also tells him that hang on to that. You're going through some sorrow and some pain. Don't kill it. Don't kill it along with the joy. And that's really quite quite poetic, and speaks a lot of the film.
So he was like a milder version of Auntie Mame. Life is a banquet and most poor souls are starving, right?
Pretty much like that, yes. A little bit more intellectual, but yes.
Yeah. Well, the director decided to shoot the film in actual sequence from beginning to end, as opposed to out of sequence.
Yeah, that's unusual for a film, isn't it?
And another unusual thing is that at the end, he just sets the camera on Timothée Chalamet's face and just say, go and act. And he basically acts it out with just his face as the credits are still rolling.
Yeah, it's really, again, indeed, very, very well done. You're going to enjoy this film.
Yeah. And that's our film review for this month. And until next time, later.
Lock him up! Lock Ballmer against women! God is blessing us here today. Can we do that? Aejaie, yeah, Lord. Aejaie, yeah, Lord. Aejaie. Lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
Hello, my name is Aejaie Franciscus, and I'm with Outlook Video, and it is my pleasure to spend some time with a friend of mine, Vicky Mattson. Vicky is the co-lead for the San Jose Women's March, which just happened in January 2018. So Vicky, how are you feeling? Are you recovered?
I'm good. I think I have recovered and getting my mojo back.
Fantastic. So tell us about some of the information that we've heard about the march. How many people were there? The crowds, all of that.
Yeah, we've had estimates from somewhere between 30 and 40,000 that showed up this year, which is really amazing. We were really happy with how the event went. It was very peaceful, a lot of very strong, powerful messages of unity and solidarity. We had an incredible array of speakers on the stage and a lot of community organizations represented to meet with marchers and help people find ways to get involved. So.
Yeah, there was a huge component of the kind of festival celebration at the end where you actually had this nonprofit alley.
Yeah.
Where a lot of community nonprofits were there offering opportunities for people to get involved.
Yeah, we called it our call to action alley, and it was really important to us that we didn't just call people out to the streets to march. That's a valuable thing to do. But what we wanted to do is inspire people to march into action, to do something after the march, to get engaged. And so these community partners offer opportunities for people to volunteer or to take training or to donate or become involved in some way on social justice issues.
That's a really good point, because I think getting people involved is really the important part. Getting them out to march is easy, that's one day, but really getting them to kind of step up and participate is something else.
Absolutely.
So I know that we had quite a few people show up. We had a diverse set of speakers at the event. That was all really powerful. But what are some of the things that you guys are planning to go forward?
Well, 2018 is a very important year in terms of midterm elections and the chance to kind of shift the power in Washington, D.C. So we are really focusing our efforts this year on getting people registered to vote, getting people engaged and educated on voting related issues, and volunteering for campaigns, running for office, and really showing up to vote. So that'll be a big part of our focus this year.
Okay. Now I know that you guys have a very active Facebook page, and that there is the Women's March Bay Area website, but those are all local because the national organization doesn't really have a whole lot of influence on how local marches or organizations run their marches, correct?
Right. So this is really a grassroots organization. When the march sprung up in 2017 in Washington, D.C., a lot of cities around the country, around the world actually said, hey, we want to have a sister march in solidarity. So those popped up, and then a lot of those groups like ours here in San Jose and in San Francisco have continued to organize. So people can just look on the local basis for a women's march group in their city or in their area and find a way to get involved.
And because each of those groups is community focused and based in their local community, what their activities will be very different based on that community.
Definitely. So that's really I think the power of a grassroots kind of movement is that every community has different needs, has different interests, and people will find different ways to organize.
So how did this group that put this year's march on come together?
Well, in 2017, Jenny Bradinini, who was my co-lead, just stepped up to say, hey, we should have a march in San Jose as well. And she organized that in collaboration with the San Francisco and Oakland groups for the Women's March Bay Area. And this year, so throughout the year, some of us have stayed engaged and organized other events locally. So when it came time, we decided we really wanted to do a march for 2018. We created an advisory board to have representatives of different parts of the community to advise us and to help us make the event more diverse this year.
Yeah, it was a very diverse group of people on that stage.
Yeah.
It was empowering to kind of watch it. And it was also empowering because there were actually no men on that stage all day.
No men and no elected officials. So those were two things. We love men and we love elected officials, but we felt like this was an important opportunity for women's voices to be in the center. And so we wanted people who were attending to be able to see someone on that stage that they could connect with in some way. Their similar background or whatever it might be, that we felt like we tried hard to represent the local community.
So besides getting people to vote, which I think is very important, and we really want people to get out and vote and get registered, what other activities can they get involved in to do?
Well, right now, some of our community partners who are part of the Call to Action Alley are doing things like training the immigrant community to understand their rights, to look at ways to support dreamers and to support the DACA program going forward, to stand up for issues having to do with sexual assault and domestic violence. So these various issues that are important to women and our communities, we are trying to put people in contact with local community organizations that are serving those particular needs.
Excellent. Well, Vicky, thank you for coming in and speaking with me.
Thanks for the invitation.
And I look forward to being part of the Women's March going forward and part of the advisory committee. It was a privilege to be asked and to participate with a group of really powerful women. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing what's coming next. And I'd like to now send it back to the studio.
And that brings this month's edition of Outlook Video to a close. You can watch extended versions of our segments and archived past programs on Outlook Video's YouTube channel at youtube.com/Outlook Video. And be sure to click on the subscribe button.
And friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/Outlook Video. This program is made possible by generous donations from viewers like you and talented volunteers behind the camera whose names you'll see as we close.
We leave you with a scene from the film Call Me by Your Name from Sony Pictures Classics. From all of us here at Outlook Video, thank you for watching us, and we'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Muscles are firm, not a straight body in these statues. They're all curved, sometimes impossibly curved, and so nonchalant, hence their ageless ambiguity, as if they're daring you to desire them.